Sometimes the most important work we do in our lives, it isn't announced with trumpets. It's not something you find in a big job title or up on some public stage. Nope. More often than not, it's a quiet, steady responsibility that we just carry out day after day. We've got a story today that really digs into that very idea. So today we're diving into a modern parable called The Keeper of Wisdom's Gate. It's a story all about a man who discovers that his very humble work holds this profound, almost invisible value. All right, so our story starts with our main character, a man named Tesfaye. He's a gentle, soft-spoken caretaker in this beautiful old public library in Addis Ababa. The kind of place where books are still treated like treasures. You can just picture it, can't you? That early morning light streaming through these tall, old windows, dust motes just dancing in the air. And through this incredible silence, Tesfaye moves with this slow, careful rhythm, wiping down tables that have been worn smooth by generations of readers. All the while, he believes his role in all this is just as quiet and unnoticed as he is. But here's the thing. Tesfaye's knowledge goes way beyond just cleaning. He has this deep, intimate, living understanding of the space. He knows exactly which shelf leans just so, which chair is going to creak when you sit in it, and which corner of the room stays warm when the cold rains come. See, this isn't just a job for him. It's a relationship. And this, right here, gets to the very heart of his role. He's not really a janitor. He's more of a guardian, and he's protecting so much more than just books and furniture. He's protecting the whole experience of being in this sanctuary of knowledge. And you can see this guardianship in these small, almost invisible actions. Like for this young girl, Hannah, he doesn't just get the books she asks for. He sees she's struggling, and he anticipates her real need, guiding her to a book with maps that will help her truly understand. Or for the elderly Ado Bakali, it's this silent daily ritual of respect. These are these little acts of deep human connection hidden right there in plain sight. But, even with all these moments, that little voice of doubt starts to creep in. At night, in his small, quiet room, he starts to question the significance of his life's work. It's a question a lot of us ask ourselves, right? Does my daily routine actually add up to anything meaningful? And right when he's wrestling with this doubt, his entire world gets turned upside down. A change is coming, and it's one that threatens to just completely erase his quiet contributions. A big government announcement echoes through the hall. The future is arriving, and it sounds cold and efficient and really impersonal. It's a future of machines and automation and digital systems, a world that seems to value data way more than dignity. And in this shiny new, modern world, caretakers like Tesfaye are officially labeled with this single, brutal word: non-essential. I mean, can you imagine the weight of that? Your entire life's work, your deep, intimate knowledge, all of it just dismissed as irrelevant. So he's handed a letter of dismissal. And that ring of keys, the one that for decades symbolized his responsibility and the trust placed in him, suddenly it feels like nothing more than a heavy, useless weight. He closes the library for what he thinks is the very last time. But he can't just leave it at that. He returns one last time over the weekend. He's not there to work, but to say goodbye. And as he walks through those empty, silent halls, something inside him starts to shift. The memories that come flooding back to him aren't of the tasks he performed. No, they're of the lives he touched. He remembers Hannah just beaming with pride over her school project. He remembers Otto Bakeli's simple gift of dabo bread, a quiet thank you. He remembers the gratitude in a student's whispered words. His real impact was never in the work itself, but in the people. And this flood of memories, it leads him to this powerful, absolutely transformative realization about his true purpose. It's like a light bulb just goes on. He finally understands. He wasn't just a caretaker of a physical space. He was the guardian of a human space. A refuge, a place where a young girl could find confidence, where an old man could find a moment of peace, where a student could find the courage to just keep going. His value wasn't something that could ever be listed on a job description or measured by some efficiency metric. No, it was written quietly and permanently in the human experiences that he made possible every single day. With this newfound clarity, his entire identity is transformed. He sheds that awful label of non-essential, and he claims a title that reflects his true role, not a cleaner, but a guardian, a keeper of something truly precious.
So, armed with this profound understanding of his own worth, Tesfaye doesn't just fade away. He acts. But he doesn't do it with anger or desperation. He does it with the calm dignity of someone who knows their truth.
He goes to the officials, and he doesn't argue or beg. He simply explains the difference. He says, look, a machine can find a book number, sure, but it can't see the confusion in a child's eyes. A system can manage inventory, but it can't offer a warm, sunlit chair to a lonely old man. He explains the irreplaceable value of human intuition.
And you know what? They listen. In a real moment of wisdom, they see the value that he brings. They don't just reinstate him, they create an entirely new role for him, one that finally, formally, recognizes the incredible work he was doing all along. So in the end, the library is modernized. The technology hums away in the background, but now it exists alongside something absolutely vital, the human touch. Tesfaye is still there, mentoring new staff, guiding visitors, and making sure that the library remains not just a building with books, but a true refuge for the soul.
And that brings us right back to where we started, doesn't it? Tesfaye's story is this powerful reminder that our purpose isn't always something we go out and find. A lot of the time, it's found in the quiet, consistent way we show up for others, performing our duties with a dignity that the world might not recognize at first, but which is essential nonetheless.
So the story leaves us with a question to really think about. In our own lives, in our work, in our families, what are the quiet, essential acts of guardianship that we perform? What unseen value are you protecting in your own world?